everyone, I'm Georgia and this is The Sound of Georgia. So the other day I was watching one of Julie's movies, because that's what I do every month, and it reminded me a lot of another movie Julie made. So today I'm going to ask the question, did Julie make the same movie twice? This video will contain spoilers. In 1964, Julie made a movie where she played a British widow who's given up on romance since her husband died, and meets a man who seems to be her complete opposite. Despite that, they end up becoming friends and something more. Julie's still apprehensive about their relationship, but after a giant explosion at a beachside location where the man dies, she's left heartbroken because she realises the gain is worth the pain. Then somebody tells her he didn't actually die, and the film ends with their reunion. In 1974, Julie made a movie where she played a British widow who's given up on romance since her husband died, and meets a man who seems to be her complete opposite. Despite that, they end up becoming friends and then something more. Julie's still apprehensive about the relationship, but after a giant explosion at a beachside location where the man dies, she's left heartbroken because she realises the gain is worth the pain. Then somebody comes and tells her he didn't actually die, and the film ends with their reunion. The first movie from 1964 is the Americanization of Emily, and the second movie from 1974 is the Tamarind Seed. Both of those sound very, very similar, if you ask me. In fact, no. When you put it that way, it's not similar, it's exactly the same. And that seems pretty specific. Obviously, you can get more specific, and when you do, you'll see how they are different. But what I told you is more than a basic overview. But what I just said does contain details that are very similar in both. Did I mention both of these movies were based on books? When you look deeper into other parts of the plot, you will see they are quite different, but at the same time there are some similarities, even outside of what I just told you. The Americanization of Emily takes place in 1944 and focuses on a commander in the US Naval Reserve called Charlie Madison. He's what's known as a dog robber, which is basically a right-hand man to the Admiral. I'm gonna need my right-hand man. Sorry, allergies. It's called Hamilton fever. His romance with Julie, who's obviously Emily, starts because she's his cab driver. And as I said, he's basically the right-hand man to the Admiral. But the Admiral's also schizophrenic. He's paranoid about the Army and the Air Force overshadowing the Navy in the upcoming D-Day. And when he's, as the movie says, cracked up, he has this crazy idea that the first dead man on Omaha Beach must be a sailor. And he basically insists that all his men make a movie about that. So they go to Omaha Beach and record what happens there. This is where the beachside location explosion comes in. And from what I said at the beginning, you know the rest. And that's a brief summary of the rest of it, the parts that don't include Julie. The Tamarind Seed is quite different, and honestly, it's always confused me. I had to look up 3 summaries to make this video, and even with that, I'm still confused. The man that's the complete opposite of Julie in this one is called Fyodor Svetlov. I hope I'm saying that right. He's Russian, and I'm not good with pronunciation. But he's an attaché for the Soviet military, and she's a PA for a very important person at the Home Office. They meet while they're on holiday, and like with Emily and Charlie, they form a bit of a friendship. This movie takes place during the Cold War, and their friendship causes a lot of problems because of their respective positions. The British intelligence is concerned that Fyodor is trying to recruit Judith, who's played by Julie, as a spy. And this is exactly what Fyodor tells his superiors, even though he's only doing that so he can see her again. But obviously the British are telling Judith not to see him, and that if he does try to contact her, she should let them know. But while Fyodor and Judith keep seeing each other, Fyodor is obviously not trying to recruit her, but he does want to defect. He tells the British he can get a file for them that will reveal the identity of the big spy they've been trying to look for, named Blue. He ends up getting the file for them, but he still needs to convince his superiors that he's trying to recruit Judith. They go back to Barbados, which is where they first met, for what his superiors assume to be the last phase of recruitment, which is where he's basically going to seduce her. Though of course that has nothing to do with recruitment and everything to do with his defection. But Fyodor's superiors know exactly what he's trying to do, and they follow them to Barbados. This is where the giant beachside explosion comes in. And you know what happens next for them. And like I said, trying to explain Tamarind Seed to you just then took looking up 3 synopses because it confused me a lot. But as Tamarind Seed is not one of my personal favourite of Julie's movies, I don't think I'm going to be watching it anytime soon. Again, definitely, but not anytime soon. I think if I watched the movie and read the synopses back to back, pretty much, I might be able to pick up on a lot of stuff that I missed. And that fact might be proof enough that they are very different. And as I've said before, they are. And yet, even outside of the very specific romance plot, there are some similarities. Both our male leads are somehow involved in the military. Both movies take place against the backdrop of a war. And even though they're different wars, the fact that it is wartime is very crucial to the plot. But I think we can all agree that when looked at a certain way, the romance is very similar in a lot of places. So maybe it's not a question of did Julie make the same movie twice, as it is, did Julie play the same character twice? Wait, didn't she do that before? And even with that, I'd say no. Judith and Emily are different in a lot of ways. Emily's apprehensive about her relationship with Charlie because she doesn't want to get hurt again, while Judith's apprehensive about her relationship with Fyodor because of what it could mean for both of them. So to sum up, she's not playing the same character and she didn't make the same movie twice. But there is something very significant to the plot in both of them that is eerily similar when looked at a certain way. That's not too close, but definitely not from a distance. And that's everything for today. Let me know in the comments if you've seen the Americanization of Emily or the Tamarind Seed. What did you think of them? Which one did you prefer if you've seen both of them? Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my video next week. You won't want to miss next week, trust me. But I'll see you then. So long, farewell.